Hey, college wrestling fans, it's JT1Wrestle here. I have got a great guest today. Please welcome to the show the first ever NCAA Division III All-American from a Texas college, Austin Cooley.
Good morning.
Well, Austin, my first question for you this morning is you had a extremely successful season last year. You won the Cliff Keen Mike Duro Invitational. You took second at regionals, and you got fifth place in the NCAA Division III National Championship, earning All-American honors. Talk to me about what led you to such a successful year last year.
Uh, I mean, it's all it was all time in the gym. It the from the summertime because I wasn't wrestling very much in the summertime. I was at Fort Sill. Uh, some an itch, kicked in, and I was like, I need to dedicate everything into this season. So I was lifting a lot over the summer because I wasn't able to get on the mat to try and make up for it. And then as soon as I could get back to Schreiner, um, uh, I was lifting, I was running with the team, I was wrestling as soon as we could get on the mat. I have to go back to Dallas often um, for drill, and I would see, my brother is a Aiden Cash Cooley at Allen High School is a very good wrestler. I would train with him as much as I could at, on Allen and Best Trains mats, and it's just working it in when I can get in there, and obviously it paid off.
On that success you had last year in an 8-5 decision, you were the only loss of the 2025 NCAA Division III national champion Mitch Williamson. So that, helps to demonstrate you have the opportunity in 2026 to become the first wrestler ever from a Texas school to win an NCAA Division III title. Actually, honestly, you'd be the first ever from any school ever in Texas in the NCAA Division One, Division Two, or Division Three to be able to do that. What does it mean to you and to Schreiner to have that opportunity?
I mean, to Schreiner, to my coaches, I think uh, it's obviously a huge achievement. They want to put everything they can uh, into making these landmark achievements for the school for wrestling in Texas. Uh, and I I just want to do good for the sport, and I just want to wrestle. It's that idea that I could win nationals is nice, but it's not at the forefront of my mind because I just want to wrestle, and I just want to do well for Texas wrestling. And
You guys are 65 miles outside of San Antonio. You're located in Central Texas, which isn't exactly wrestling territory. So I looked over you guys' schedule, and last year it was mostly away tournaments and away dual tournaments. Sometimes you guys traveled as far as 18 hours away. And then the closest you had was 4.5 hours away. The only team that came to Shriner last year to duel you guys was Wayland Baptist. What has that been like? What's it been like having such a schedule like that? What are the pros and what are the cons?
well, it's I lived in Texas almost my whole life, and that's kind of what Texas wrestling is. It's traveling uh, hours and hours and hours every weekend for any good competition. So I'm used to it at this point. Other people are not. If you're from the Midwest, you can drive 30 minutes to an hour and get any range of competition you want. But if you're in Dallas, you go to Virginia Beach Duels, and you go to Fargo, and you go to uh, even Oklahoma is about 3 hours away. It's it's just what wrestling already is to me. But uh, pros and cons. Cons is traveling does suck, especially when you're cutting weight. It's miserable to have to like spit in a cup on a plane or to just not eat when you're going through an airport and there's a parade of restaurants around you. Uh, but I don't know what the pros are. If I'm being totally honest, I have no idea what the pros are.
See a lot of countryside, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Austin, I want to switch gears on you here for just a second. I want to get your opinion on this. Tarleton State has been talking about becoming the first NCAA Division One wrestling school in Texas. I don't know exactly how long it's been. It's been over 50 years. I think about 55 years since we've had Division One wrestling in Texas. How do you think Tarleton State becoming the first program in such a long time will help the sport of wrestling in the Lone Star State?
Um, I mean, it'll do good for the sport. I'm a, when it does eventually become a D1 program, I'm going to be a little jealous because if they would have started up a little sooner, maybe I would have hopped on the train. But it is what it is. But I mean, Texas has a lot of phenomenal wrestlers. We have a lot of wrestlers. It's a big state. We have a lot of phenomenal wrestlers. Uh, and obviously, historically, if you want to stay close to home, your best bet is to go to OU or OSU. Uh, our our best wrestlers who come from this state, they can't wrestle in college at the level they want to, at the Division I level. So they go out. Your Bo Nichols, uh, your the Ferraris, they leave the state, and that's not great for Texas wrestling because we don't get to keep our own guys. And I'm certain that the Texas pride and then like Texas natives, no matter what, they want to stay in their state if they can. Uh, so, I mean, I think it'll do wonders for the sport, and I hope it does.
On the same page there. And then, Austin, my last question for you today is just one, just to kind of be silly, kind of be funny. Are you aware that there's another Austin Cooley out there, same weight class, that wrestles for West Virginia?
I have been very aware for a very long time. Uh, no, so I mean, just this last season, I went to go check into my table. I'm in my singlet and headgear, ready to wrestle. And I go, Austin Cooley, Schreiner University. And the guy at the table says, there's an Austin in West Virginia. There's an Austin Cooley in West Virginia. And I'm like, I'm trying to get like pumped up for him. I'm like, I know. Yes. Uh, Also, I first became aware of him in high school at Fargo. At Fargo, he was like one age group above me. Like he would have been a junior, but it was still the same weight class. And he was a couple times late for his matches. And so, just with the schedule of Fargo, I would wrestle a match. I'd be dying. I'd be go recovering. And then the speaker would say, Austin Cooley to mat 9, Austin Cooley to mat 9. And I got to freak out and sprint over there in my singlet just to find out that there's another Austin Cooley.
Yeah, I tell you, that reminds me of when I was in junior high in eighth grade, my first match of eighth grade junior high. We went to a we went to a like a little dual kind of tournament thing, and there were four mats in this big gym. And my coach looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Stonebreaker, you're on mat two." Well, they put the those like I can what you call those things, but they have the like they sit them in the center of the mat and they have like the number on them. So I
Mm-hmm,
walked
yeah.
out on what I thought was mat number two, but what I was actually walking on was to mat number one, thinking I was walking on to mat number two. And I remember walking out on the mat, and this other kid comes up. I'm like, oh my god, this kid seems like he's so much bigger than me. I wonder if my coach is making me wrestle a much bigger kid, because at the time it would have been like 135 pounds or so. This kid must have been at least 150, if not 155 pounds. And anyway, I wrestled him, and I beat him. Like I beat him like I think it was like 3-2 or 2-1 or something like that. And I was like, oh my god. I said, hope not everybody's this big and strong. He's like this kid was like a horse. And I walked off the mat, and my coach says, "Well, good job." He goes, "You're supposed to wrestle that kid over there." So I ended up wrestling the wrong kid. I got such a kick out of that. Well, anyway, Austin, I really want to thank you for being on JT1 Wrestle today. We wish you the best of success in 2025, 2026, and let's go Schreiner.
Thank you, sir.